If we start with stance, for instance,
Okay.
I think folks get too hung up on stance. And again, it's objective based. So if I'm teaching the SWAT guy who needs to be moving, where's his stance? Well, there's no stance because he's moving. And for the basic shooter, stance is relative to what the task is. So as far as stance, your stance looks good right now. You're standing up without falling over. Check.
Okay.
So you got balance. And then we look for stability, all right? And when we say stability, what we're looking for is stability of the muzzle on the target. So however you can stand without falling over and stabilize the muzzle on the target, go back to that first one I talked about,
Yep.
who cares how you're standing?
Okay.
I really don't care. I don't care if your feet are shoulder width apart. I don't care if there's 1 foot back. I don't care if you point your toes out. I don't care if you stand on 1 foot. It really doesn't matter to us. As long as the result downrange is what you want, who cares? So with stance, stand normal and comfortably and put a gun in your hand and hold it up in front of you so you can see the sights.
Good.
Now, the only other attribute we may talk about occasionally as far as stance is concerned is mobility. Having the ability to go mobile if I need to.
Sure.
So having a stance that sets myself up for mobility, which we get into as we progress in our shooting careers. But basically balance, standing up without falling over, stability, having the ability to stabilize the muzzle on the target. How are you doing that? I don't really care, and none of our guys do. As far as grip's concerned, all right, we're looking for a full grip on the gun. Now, obviously, at the basic level for shooters who have never, or not even shooters, people who have never picked up a handgun in their life, obviously, we have to tell them how to hold the gun. We keep that pretty simple as well, and I can certainly go over that with you if you'd like.
Okay, why don't we talk about the grip?
Sure, absolutely. So I'll start with this SIG SAUER P226, and you can see that that's clear and safe and unloaded. So with, and this is single action, so it's a locked and cocked type of gun. So with grip, what we're going over is take the gun in your dominant hand. So I'm a right-handed shooter. So as I grip the gun in my dominant hand, I'm coming right in behind the gun. And what I'm looking for is kind of a fit type of thing. Make sure the gun fits me first of all. So I'm just looking for a straight line down the slide of the gun, down in my hand. I'm looking for these 3 fingers to be vertically stacked right here, finger straight forward off the trigger. And I'm trying to get as high in the grip as possible.
Okay.
So we encourage folks to get their hand up as high in the gun as possible so they're nice and close to that bore axis line so the gun's not flopping around in their hand too much. And then on the other side of the gun, all we're looking to do is close up that space. We typically, on a SIG for instance, but we don't really care what you shoot. On a SIG for instance, we'll use that takedown lever as a reference point for your thumb, right up there, 4 fingers stacked. And just bring it in here and we close up that gap right in the back. So we got good circumference all the way around the gun.
Great.
And as far as how much pressure on the gun, we typically say something like a firm handshake, or if you were striking a nail with a hammer, something about like that will get the job done.
Don't want to squeeze it so hard that you can't move it around.
Yeah, squeeze the juice out of it.
It'll fall out of your hands.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty simple. All right, you know, we talk about stabilizing the muzzle on the target. Obviously, we'll go over sights. Our thoughts on like 3-dot sights on a pistol are somewhat unique. I don't really care what the back one's doing, or I don't care about necessarily how much space you have on each side and even across the top. We'll pretty much at the beginner level, and everybody, to be honest with you, say, hey, you see that white dot on the front of your sight? Yep, check. Okay, why don't you put that white dot where you want the bullet to go? Okay, and keep it there as still as you can. Obviously, we're humans and we move and we breathe, and there's blood flowing through our veins, so we're going to move a little bit. So we kind of float that dot up there and put our finger on the trigger and try to move the trigger without disturbing that dot too much. That's really about it. I think any more than that, and we convolute stuff, and folks get confused. So
good grip, keep your muzzle pointed down on the target, keep it stable, squeeze the trigger without disturbing the sights, and you're going to hit the target.
And again, we're setting ourselves up for success, so like you just used the word squeeze the trigger. You typically won't hear us saying that. We'll say move the trigger or work the trigger. We think squeeze, we think that movement. I don't want the people to do that on the gun. I want them
move it.
I want them to isolate the trigger and move the trigger without disturbing anything. If they squeeze it, they tend to milk it and move it all over the place. So you know, real slick, real simple.
We've gone over the fundamentals, so why don't you pick it up, treat me like I'm a brand new shooter on my first day at the academy.
All right.
And let's take some shots down range, and maybe you can help me get better.
Sure, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, good.
So we got a clear and safe gun. Go ahead, point your gun down range. And just lock the slide to the rear, take out your magazine. Good, and send your slide forward. You just keep it unloaded, send your slide forward.
Okay.
All right, just hold the gun up on target. And you got a nice red fiber optic sight up there. So put the dot where you want it to go, all right? And, you know, our goal here is just to hit a specific place on the target,
Yep.
right? All right, I would really relax yourself. Our goal out here, like right now, you're not shooting a competition, so you're not expected to haul across the range, and we're not going to be doing any movement, and this guy's certainly not shooting back at us, so I'd recommend just relax. You know, you were just standing there talking to me, just kind of like this. I would stand just like that. Bring the gun up to your line of sight, relax your shoulders, objective based. Right now, you're not moving, you're not in a competition, you're not flying around the range, so relax. Yeah, so that looks good. All right, so you're standing up without falling over. You see your red dot, right? All right, put the red dot where you want the shot to go. Place your finger on the trigger and move that trigger without moving that dot too much. Good. I think that's pretty much does it right there. That's about it. Pretty simple. All right, so 1 foot behind my back and holding the gun like this. This is probably not ideal. So hitting that 1 inch square right there with my gun upside down, standing on 1 foot, what I just proved? Well, what I did is I just proved that the points I was making earlier, it doesn't matter. I just hit the center of a 1 inch square without even thinking about it too much on 1 foot, holding the gun upside down with my pinky. So what did that prove? Who cares how you